Welcome to Yoga for Runners. My name is Nadine and I will guide you through the next 16 minutes of your practice. Coming to your mat, sitting on your heels, tucking in the toes for a gentle stretch at the bottom of your feet. Finding a moment here to prepare body and mind for the next 16 minutes. And then setting up an all-four position on hands and knees. Wrists aligning with the shoulders, knees aligning with the hips. And then reaching with your left arm underneath the right, rounding the back. Take a breath into the left shoulder. Switching sides, right arm reaches underneath, round the back, stretch the right shoulder. Returning into all four, tucking in the toes, first downward dog, buttock reaches all the way up. Can settle in here, bending one knee at a time, straighten the opposite leg, finding a full breath. And I'm walking your hands towards your feet. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hinging into your forward fold. Inhale, belly draws in, flat back. Exhale, fold. Walking the hands forward all the way into a plank position, shoulders above the wrist. Releasing the knees, keep the belly drawn in, one line all the way into the ground. Pressing the tops of your toes, hands underneath the shoulder, cobra, chest lift. Exhale, stretch back into an active child's pose. And tucking in the toes, downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, arms stretched out. And then soften the knees, step or walk in between your hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Arms rise on an inhale. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back, release the right knee, gazing forward or up. And left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale all the way down. Release the tops of your toes. Cobra on an inhale. Exhale, stretch it back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Releasing the right toes on top of your left heel. Both legs fully straight. Breathe into the left Achilles, the ankle, and right leg left. Step it in between your hands, and left foot meets the right in front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, and exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Release your left knee, gazing forward or up. And right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale all the way down, hands underneath the shoulders, cobra or upward dog if available. And stretching it back to release the spine. When you're ready, return into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, draw the left toes on top of your right heel, using here the weight of your left leg to lengthen into the right calf, right ankle, and raise the left leg up. Step the left foot in between your hands, right knee drops, gazing forward or up, and right foot meets the left foot at the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way to standing, and hands meet in front of your heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step it back into your downward dog. Fingers spread wide, arms stretched out. Shoulders a bit away from the back of your neck. Walking your feet towards the edges of your mat. Swinging the hips gently from side to side, a bit like a hammock here. And then walking the feet back into a hip width apart, lifting the right leg up. Stacking your right hip on top of your left hip, bending the right knee. open into the hip flexor and the right thigh. And hips squaring back to center. Right leg straightens. And I'm bending the right knee. Step it in between your hands. Release your left knee. From here, setting up for a low lunge, you can place your hands first on top of your right thigh, lifting the chest away. When you're ready, raise your arms. Breathe. And release your hands. Left hand and height of your right foot. Reach the right arm up, chest open. Optional here, bending the left knee, getting hold of your left foot. If this is not available, keep your right arm just up towards the sky. Take a full breath. If you're holding the foot, carefully release the foot down. Everyone release the right hand, stepping the right foot back, downward facing dog. On an inhale, plank. Exhale all the way down. Release the tops of your toes. Walk your hands out. Come onto your fingertips, elbows out. Lift the chest, drop the shoulders, stretch the sternum here. And exhale, release the chest. Inhale, chest lift. Exhale, bend the left, drop the left shoulder, gaze over the shoulder, and come back to center, release. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, release. Hands underneath the shoulders, all four positions, stretch back into a child's pose. When you're ready, return into downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, stack the left hip on top of the right hip. And then adding a bend in your left knee. Breathe into the front of your left hip, the front of your left thigh. And hips squaring back to center. Re-straighten the left leg. Bend the left knee again. Step it in between your hands. Setting up for your low lunge here. Either hands onto your thigh or raise your arms all the way up. Breathe. And hands release down. Right hand aligns on height of your left foot. On an inhale, reach the left arm up. Maybe, if available, bending your right knee, getting hold of your right foot. Find the chest open. Breathe. Releasing the right foot, releasing the left hand, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Soften the knees, release the knees into the ground, coming all the way sitting on your heels. Tucking in the toes for a gentle stretch at the bottom of your feet. Reaching your arms in front, right arm underneath the left eagle arms, lifting the elbows in line with your shoulders, releasing your elbows towards the right, gaze over your left shoulder, and come back to center, straighten the arms out. Switching sides, left underneath the right, and reaching the arms over towards the left, gaze over the right shoulder, coming back to center, hands into the ground, all four, wiggle the toes, release the tension, and returning into downward dog. Fingers spread wide, stretching the arms, reaching the tailbone all the way up. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot to the outside of your right hand. Release your left knee into the ground. Lizard pose. You can either place your left elbow into the ground or onto a block. Maybe, if available, release the right elbow as well. If both is not available, you can also keep both arms straight. Breathe. Keeping a length in your inner right thigh, your right groin. Lizard pose. Breathe here. Gently rise up. Walk your hands slightly in. Wiggle the right foot over towards the left side. You can use the help of your hands. Either shin bone parallel towards the top edge of your mat. For less intensity on your right outer hip, you might want to take your right heel a bit closer towards your left hip. Important is to keep your hips nice and square. If there's any support needed underneath your right butt cheek, please do so. It can be a block or a pillow. And then from here, with a long spine, reaching forward either on your elbows or make a pillow with your hands. We open here into the right outer hip, your right glute, right IT band. using the releasing qualities of your exhalation, directing your exhalation into any tight area. And release. Walk your hands in. Lift your chest. Take the left knee a bit closer in, tucking in the toes, stepping it all the way back. Downward dog. If you need to shift from side to side, please do so. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Drop the shoulders, stretch the chest. Exhale, sit back towards the heels, release the spine. When you're ready, return into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left foot steps to the outside of your left hand. Release your right knee, setting up lizard here. Reaching long forward, either one elbow or both elbows. It's a bit easier to start with the outer elbow. Feel free to use any support, any block or anything. And then breathe into that inner left thigh. Release. Re-straighten your arms. Place your hands into the ground. Walk slightly back. You can use the help of your hands, wiggling that left foot over towards the right edge of your mat. Either shin bone parallel for less intensity, taking the heel a bit closer towards your right hip. Make sure your right leg is in one straight line behind you. You can walk the hands in, find even a gentle back bend, squaring off the hips. And then reaching forward, either elbows into the ground or make a pillow with your hands. Release your forehead either onto your hands or all the way into the ground. Breathe. Release any tension in your right outer hip, your glute, your IT band, the big muscle group leading underneath your butt cheek all the way down into the knee on the outside of your left thigh. Slowly release, walking your hands in, tucking in the toe of your right, stepping the left foot back, downward facing dog. Release the knees, release the toes, return sitting onto your heels. We're going a bit more into the Achilles on your left. Placing your left foot in line with your right knee. From here, lean slightly into your left leg, but keep your left heel grounded. So you have to figure out a bit your sweet spot here. You might need to lean a bit into the right or a bit into the left. And then once you feel, oh, this is my sweet spot, then stay there, breathe into it. And release. Walk your hands back and then lifting the hip up, releasing the hip back down, lifting the right knee up, lengthen into the front of the right foot. And release. Lift the right knee, release the right knee down, lift the hip. Do this a few times as long as you wish, finding a bit of momentum here. And release. Coming back to all four, wiggle the toes. Switching side here. So you're sitting on your left heel, placing your right foot in line with your left knee. And then with a long spine, leaning a bit over into the right side, finding that sweet spot of your right Achilles. Breathe. And walk your hands back. From here, lift the hips, lift the chest, but keep the left knee pointing down and release. Lift the knee up and release. Lift the chest up, the hip up, and release the hips down. Lift the knee, lengthen into the front of your left foot, and then reverse. Open the front, the chest, and the hip flexor and the left thigh. Do this a couple of times in your own time. And carefully walk your hands back. Release your right foot. Maybe wiggle those toes. Bring the circulation back into the toes and feet. And then returning into downward facing dog. Walking your feet towards the edges. Malasana squatting position. Bending the knees. Elbows can meet in the inside. You can always adjust here. Rolling the mat up or sitting even on a block. You can add a twist. Reaching the right arm down. Left arm reaches up. Left hand and switching into the inside, right arm reaches all the way up, and hands return in front of your heart. Tailbone is pointing down, crown of the head reaches up, and releasing here into a forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. We're going to feet back to center so they're hip width apart. Reaching with your arms behind your knees, folding forward. If there's tension in the back, keep your knees nice and soft. You can also reach with your hands towards your heels, or even place the palms underneath your feet, making sure the toes reaching into the wrist crease. You can then lengthen the legs, pulling the thighs gently up towards the hips, widen the sit bones up towards the sky. Find a length in your hamstrings. There's no tension in your neck. The head is very easy. And then release one hand at a time, walking it back into downward dog for a full breath. And then shorten your feet, come a bit closer in, reaching with your right hand underneath towards your left ankle, gaze underneath. And then switch, release. Left hand reaches towards your right ankle, gaze. And release the left hand, downward dog here. Soften the knees, hop, step, or walk into a seated position.